Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about one of the condition which occurs due to the liver dysfunction and which is known as ascites. So what do you mean by ascites? So here the ascites is mainly derived from a Greek word ascos, which means bag or sac. So here ascites is a collection of fluid in the peritoneal cavity. So due to the dysfunction of the liver produces a fluid which gets collected into the peritoneal cavity and forms some bag or sac-like structure that is called ascites. Then we'll see the definition. Ascites is the most common complication in patients with cirrhosis. It develops as a consequence of a severe impairment of liver ascites and portal hypertension. So here this is mainly occurring due to the liver cirrhosis, and it is mainly the impairment which occurs due to the liver function and impairment of liver function and portal hypertension. Then we'll see the grades. So here it is divided into three grades: grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3. Grade 1, mild, only visible on ultrasound and CT scan. So in grade 1 the symptoms are not so visible and it can be only noticeable by the ultrasound and CT scan. Then grade 2, detectable and flank bulging and shifting dullness. So it can be seen but not so bulge, but it can be felt that there is something bulging or dullness present. Then grade 3, directly visible, confirmed with fluid wave thrill test. So you can easily notice by the bulging of the abdomen and it can be tested by the wave thrill test. Then we see the causes, what leads to the ascites formation. So it is cirrhosis 81%, which is mainly caused due to the alcoholic 65%, viral infection 10% and cryptogenic 6%. Then other reasons are heart failure 3%, constrictive pericarditis, that is infection, then kwashiorkor, childhood protein energy malnutrition, then infection, tuberculosis 2% or spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, then pancreatitis 1% and nephrotic syndrome. So these all reasons lead to the ascites in a person. Then we see the clinical manifestations. So it is increased abdominal girth and rapid weight gain are common presenting symptoms of ascites. The patient may be short of breath and uncomfortable from the enlarged abdomen, and stria and distended veins may be visible over the abdominal wall. Fluid and electrolyte imbalances are common. So as you know, ascites is a fluid collection. So due to the fluid collection, the abdominal girth will be increased and the person will be discomfort due to the increased abdominal girth. Then there will be a rapid weight gain. Then we'll see the diagnosis, how you're going to diagnose. So in that, the first is history collection. So we are going to have the brief history collection of the patient. Mainly includes the age, which can be child, middle age and old age. Then sex, female and male. What are the habits like menorrhagia, pelvic tumors, infection. Then in male, alcoholism or drug abuse. Then we can go for the other medical conditions like cardiac causes and kidney causes, which will tell us the reasons for the infection in the patient. Then we can go for the general examination, in which we'll go for the head to toe examination. In that we'll try to know about the causative agents and the signs. Then we can go for the systemic examination, which mainly includes the examination of the abdominal area. In that we'll go for the inspection. In inspection we'll try to we'll use the stethoscope to hear the sound. Then second we'll go for the palpation. In palpation we'll palpate the area to know about the fluid collection. Then we'll go for the percussion. In percussion we'll be using our fingers by tapping process. Due to the percussion we can listen the tympani or dullness due to the fluid collection. Then we'll go for the laboratory analysis. In that we'll go for the inspection, that is we'll try to know about the fluid formation and how much fluid is formed inside the abdominal or peritoneal area. Then we'll go for the cell count. We'll try to know about the number of the cell count present. Then we'll go for the other tests like imaging studies. In that we'll go for the ultrasonography that will easily visualize the fluid collection. Then we can go for the CT scan that will help us to know about the same fluid collection in the patient. Then we can move to the treatment section. In treatment section we'll be restricting the patient with the salt, because the salt helps in the, or you cannot say help, but salt, if the person is having high intake of salt, so this helps in the fluid retention in the body. So we'll be restricting salt in the patient's diet. Then we will be giving him diuretics that will does not allow the fluid to retain in the body, but it will get excreted in the form of urine or sweat. Then in that diuretics you can give spirolactone, furosemide, amyloride, and mannitol. These drugs can be given. Then we can go for the other procedures like abdominal paracentesis. In abdominal paracentesis, there will be a method to take out the excessive fluid from the peritoneal area. Then we can go for the transjugular intrahepatic post-systemic shunt, where they will try to correct the disorder of the liver. Then at last, when there is a severe condition, then the person can go for the liver transplantation, which will try to treat the cause. So in today's class we have discussed about the ascites, which is one of the condition which occurs to the liver dysfunction, in which there is a abnormal fluid collection into the peritoneal cavity that is mainly visible due to the bulged abdominal area. It is divided into three grades: grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. Grade 1 is mild, then grade 2 is medium, and grade 3 is severe, where there is more, or you can say excessive bulging of the abdomen. Then there are causes, mainly the main cause is cirrhosis, that is liver dysfunction. Then other causes are heart failure, infections, kwashiorkor pancreatitis, and nephrotic syndrome. Then clinical features mainly includes the bulging of the abdominal area, then discomfort. Then in diagnosis, the patient's main diagnosis is mainly that includes the systemic examination, which can be done through the inspection, palpation, and percussion. Then other tests include the USG and CT scan. Then the person can go for the treatment, which mainly includes the salt restriction, then diuretics. Then other management can be done with the abdominal paracentesis, and then the patient can have the shunt, that is transjugular intrahepatic post hepatic shunt. Then in the severe cases, patient can go for the liver transplantation. So I hope this topic will be helpful to everyone.